Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. Janelle has the night off. There is new information tonight about a murder suspect killed in a shootout with U.S. Marshals here in Billings. 19-year-old Kellen Fortune died in a hail of gunfire on Cook Avenue last Thursday evening after police say he exchanged those shots with U.S. Marshals who were attempting to take him into custody. No officers were injured in the gunfire. Well, we now know that Fortune had been on the run from authorities in Colorado since November of last year, where he was wanted for first-degree murder. Now, according to the Colorado Springs Police Department, detectives identified Fortune as the suspect in a shooting that left another teenager dead. 19-year-old Elijah Villalpando was shot and injured during a fight in a parking lot. He was found inside his vehicle, suffering from life-threatening injuries, and died later at the hospital. The Colorado Springs Police Department Violent Task Force determined that Fortune was here in Billings, alerted U.S. Marshals who located him in the 700 block of Cook Avenue. At least 6 federal officers fired at Fortune, who died there on the scene. Billings Police Department detectives are conducting an investigation into the officer-involved shooting. In Bighorn County, 2 people were killed last night after being struck by a vehicle. On Highway 451, it happened just after midnight, just outside of Wyola. The driver, a 19-year-old from Sundance, Wyoming, told officers he did not see the couple before hitting them. Drugs, alcohol, and speed are not suspected to have played a role in that fatal accident. Well, Montana's health officials reported 9 new coronavirus cases today. We already told you about 3 of those from Bighorn County yesterday. And now, just over an hour ago, Bighorn County is reporting 2 new cases today, a female in her 20s and a female in her 40s. One of the patients was asymptomatic while the other did have symptoms. The county now has 31 active cases. Yellowstone County also saw 1 more case, according to the state. Well, Dawson County also reported a positive case, that being a male in his 60s. Montana now sits at 162 active cases with 571 people recovered. 13 people remain hospitalized. Montana senior U.S. Senator Jon Tester says he does not support the current GOP police reform bill that could hit the Senate floor as early as tomorrow. Speaking with the KTVQ editorial board today, Tester said the new Justice Act doesn't go far enough to address racial injustice issues that have become the focus of nationwide protests following the police killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Tester said the time for action is now, but said right now there's no consensus on the proposed police reform bill. As for the nation's battle against COVID-19, Tester told us he believes the Trump administration's denial about the seriousness of the coronavirus outbreak cost us valuable time and lives.
I think it's dangerous to blow off as a hoax. And, I guess, out of 330 million people, 120,000 people dying ain't that many. But the truth is that I think it's a big deal. And I think it could get worse. And I think people look to a certain extent to people like me and like governor and to a greater extent to the president when they see him doing things like not wearing a mask or just saying, oh, this is no big deal, or the thing's over with now, don't worry about it. I think you can say that, but the truth is it's not truthful. It's not reality. And I think that's dangerous.
Asked if he's optimistic the U.S. economy will bounce back, Tester says yes, but feels it will take longer than most people wish. The keys, he said, identifying a treatment against COVID and a vaccine that Dr. Fauci today predicted would be available by the start of next year. More evidence surfacing that Montana Republicans and their allies are the financial force behind efforts to promote the Green Party candidate in the state's U.S. Senate race. Last month, the Go Green Montana PAC was formed to promote Green Party Senate candidate Wendy Frederickson of Helena. Well, now MTN News has learned that all $45,500 of the PAC's money came from a conservative Texas-based group called CSG Action. That group has ties to a Texas oil and gas executive who has given money to the Montana Republican Party and the campaign of Republican U.S. Senator Steve Daines. The executive, Tim Dunn, also spent $2.2 million in 2018 on a group formed to campaign against Democratic U.S. Senator Jon Tester. The Montana Democratic Party says the effort to promote Frederickson and the Green Party is a Republican subterfuge meant to help Daines win re-election this year. Daines is engaged, I should say, in what's expected to be a close contest with his Democratic challenger, Governor Steve Bullock. Montana's Republicans say their push to get the Green Party on the ballot was meant to give voters more choices this November. On September 15th, Billings voters will receive a mail ballot asking to increase a public safety mill levy passed back in 2004. If approved, that levy would bring in an additional $4 million to the city to help pay for the police and fire departments. Billings Mayor Bill Cole told Q2 today that the city council is counting on that levy passing, or else large cuts could be down the road for city departments. That levy would increase taxes about $57 per year on a Billings home worth $211,000. This levy does not increase public safety services. Instead, it's more of a stopgap measure.
We want to be transparent with the voters and make it clear that the September levy will not completely close our budget gap, and it won't provide those new resources for public safety. Therefore, it's likely that we're going to have to come back to the voters in future years. Right now, this is simply triage, and some may criticize the city council for not asking for more.
Well, the mayor said that the economic uncertainty brought about from COVID-19 is what shifted the city council's appetite toward a smaller levy ask. During these extra challenging times, food pantry donations are down, making it harder to serve those in need. This coming Thursday, Q2 is teaming up with Billings Family Service and Master Lube to kick off a massive fundraising and food drive. Now, our goal is to raise $12,000 and 12,000 pounds of food in one day. Q2's Andrea Lutz has more.
When the coronavirus pandemic hit, things became uncertain.
We find that more and more people are finding it harder and harder to feed their families.
Shelves became bare and belts everywhere tightened.
And the shelves were pretty much cleared out by people who had the ability to do bulk shopping.
Many turned once again to Billings Family Service for help.
For us and for our volunteers, it's a feeling of gratitude. We're so thankful that we can help the people.
Executive Director Stacy Brown says last year alone they doled out 3 million pounds of food to needy families. But because of COVID-19, she anticipates this year that number will double.
It's a very special feeling to be able to give.
A box of food like the one she's standing in front of can save a family up to $300 in grocery costs, so that family can focus on paying for other crucial needs. In March alone, at the height of the pandemic, Family Service helped feed 7,000 families.
A lot of times for us, at the end of the day, it makes me emotional, but at the end of the day, we talk about how we were able to help. So I'm not sure who's more thankful, the people receiving or us being able to give it.
She wants others in Billings to also feel how good giving can be.
It's an opportunity for all of us to share and to come together to make sure that we're all okay. This is an all-out, easy drive to Master Lube, drop off your bag of treats, and we'll give you actually a really nice little sticker for your car that says, "I Heart Family Service."
In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
Thanks, Andrea. And as Andrea just mentioned, this Thursday is our Double Down for Kids food drive. Starts at 6 a.m. on Montana This Morning and lasts until 6 p.m. Donations can be dropped off at any Master Lube location and right here downtown at the Q2 News Studio. Well, Zoo Montana has a new family member, and if you're wondering what type of animal it is, take a listen. Simpson is a 7-week-old gray wolf pup found abandoned on private property near Condon, Montana. He was spotted by property owners after seeing him walking up their driveway. Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks were called to the scene, and they placed Simpson in the care of Zoo Montana. The staff promises to keep everyone up to date with his progress and hopefully with some more adorable pictures. Zoo Montana is now open to the public but does have COVID restrictions in place. For more information on the zoo and Simpson, you can visit ktvq.com. Ahead on tonight's 5:30 News, a look inside Montana's first and only certified autism center in the state that was especially hit hard because of COVID-19, but some good news, they're on the rebound. And in sports, you'll want to meet Q2's Athlete of the Week, who delivers an inspiring story on a bicycle.
And coming up in weather, kind of a quiet day today, but tomorrow we're looking for kind of a bumpy afternoon and evening. We'll tell you all about it coming up in just a few more minutes.
You're watching MTN News with Janelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.